Hashtag challenge accepted. Yesterday, I posted my black and white selfie using this hashtag, and the comment that I got on it from my friend actually got me curious. He said, why is it that nobody else is talking about the true root cause of this hashtag, the origination of it? And that got me wondering, like, how is this even possible? So I basically laughed it off yesterday. But then today on my feed, I saw a post saying hashtag challenge declined. It's terrible. The irony is what is the worst, because it was from a guy. And that's when I decided it's high time that we talk about this and educate people, because I get it, the hashtag is so vague, and Instagram itself has not been foreign to black and white challenges in the past. 2016, for example, we had the awareness of cancer being raised using the black and white photos, and the 7-day challenges of using black and white photos only. That would have probably diluted the entire cause, and nobody would have thought twice to investigate further. There were also theories that it might be because of Alexandria Ocasio's the comment that she received after her brilliant speech for the elections. Her male counterpart called her a fucking bitch because she had a point of view. So suddenly, the true women empowerment that was required using this hashtag was turned to just women empowerment in general. But I wanted to share with you why this hashtag matters, and why the hashtags that I've used in the previous post about femicide in Turkey and gender-based violence, all of them, why they matter. On July 16th, sorry for my grammatical error, on July 16th, there was a girl called Pinar Gultekin. I'm so sorry, I might be pronouncing her name wrong. Pinar was a 27-year-old woman who was brutally murdered by her boyfriend. And you know how she was murdered? He burnt her. He burnt her, and he was unsuccessful in disposing of the body by just burning her. So what he did was he threw her body into a trash can and filled it with concrete instead. When asked, his reason for doing this heinous crime was that she was about to go vocal about the relationship to his wife. That was the value of her life. 6 months ago in 2019, there was a girl called Sule Set from Ankara who was brutally raped by her boss and another man and pushed out of the window of her office. The coroner that examined her body said that her neck was broken, there were tears found in her anal region, and there was narcotic substances found in her bloodstream. But you know what the defense attorney and the medical examiner's report said? It was suicide, and it was consensual sex. Upon asking why, well, it was her decision, right, to go drinking with a male in an isolated area. So, of course, out of shame, she must have jumped out of the window. She was pushed out of the window, but she was jumped out of the window for the records. 2,000 women stood together and protested against it and demanded a further investigation, and that is how the story was revealed. What is happening in Turkey is really sad because they want to protect their culture, and they want to... I don't even know too much to actually comment on it, but when I was reading, the more I read about it, the more the issues sounded really familiar, and the more there was that bell that was ringing in my head saying that, ding, this is something that happens in India as well. This is something that happens in US as well. This is something that happens in UK as well. This is something that happens globally as well. This is not foreign. That is why women are standing together. The reason why it is a black and white uh, image with a challenge accepted hashtag is because when these women who die, when the news articles pick up their cases, they showcase their image on their feed in a black and white format. And just in 2019, there were about 430, maybe 450 deaths of women because of femicide. And women are tired of having this. When 2,000 women stood together to protest on protest this issue, and also the issue of Istanbul Convention not being enforced, the police brutally attacked them using tear gas and even shot rubber bullets at them. You know what saddens me about it all? Is that this Istanbul Convention came into being after there was this global push, for Turkey to ratify the agreement. And even though that Turkey ratified it in 2014, sorry, like 4 years ago, so 2016ish, even though they ratified the agreement and gave it a legal basis by giving a legislature for protecting women against sexual crimes and domestic violence, it is not enforced. Does that ring a bell? Does that sound familiar? Does victim blaming and victim shaming sound familiar? Because this is no more just Turkey's issue. This is a global issue. This is one issue that we face so evidently in our country. That is why there is a women empowerment aspect to this hashtag, because it is the women who are standing together strong for each other. It is the women who have decided that we are going to have enough of it and come together. You know what annoys me? There is a woman called Erbu. I don't even know how to pronounce her surname. She's basically the spokeswoman for the women's affairs of Turkey's Islamic Conservative Party. You know what she says about something as progressive as the Istanbul Convention? She is a critic against it, and this is her reason. She said that the treaty would be like a bomb destroying Turkey's traditional family structure. It would threaten the financial and moral integrities of families. Why? Because it is in direct contradiction with the Article 41 of their constitution, which says that family is the foundation of Turkish society. Does that ring a bell, ladies? Does that sound familiar in any ways? You know, this reminds me of all the women that say, I'm not a feminist, but I want equal rights for women and men. You're defining feminism. Don't let a few bad examples deter you from what you know to be truth, what you know to be true for yourself. And don't let men dictate your value or your rights. I think we are way past that, and the generations before us have already fought the war against that. They have done a lot of the hard work. We just need to follow those footsteps and bring it into fruition. That's all we need to do. So please, I urge you to educate yourself on feminism. I urge you to educate yourself on women's rights. I urge you to educate yourself on your standards and your basic rights. At least, for the very least, we are covered by Article 14 in our constitution that says that we are equal as men. So at the very least, we have a basis that says that we are equal. We have a basis to at least put forth our case. Not a lot of women have that right, have that privilege to say. And so I urge you, please, when Instagram is giving you 2,100 characters to use, please use those characters and take the pain, if you will. Bear that. but write the caption, educate each other. Just don't make it about sharing another black and white image, because you can do that any goddamn day of the week. You can do that any goddamn hour of the day. Use this and let's stand together in unity against violence against women. And let's stand together against victim blaming and victim shaming. If a girl was raped, it is not her fault. If a girl was murdered, it is not her fault. She was not asking for it. Time and time again, everyone has been talking about this issue. I think it is high time that we start a dialogue within our minds first and a dialogue with others around us.